Hi Mark, this is Mark Roulston from the Bellhops. Tell us about your instrument, Mark.
This is my baby, my Fender jazz bass. I've had this since sometime in the 80s, the late 80s. I acquired this one. I've always liked jazz basses. They have a particular neck profile that I really enjoy. They're quite narrow as they approach the top of the neck there. A lot of basses are a lot fatter at this end. I quite like how it narrows here and it's quite tapered at the end here. So I've always liked that about the jazz basses. This is an original 1972 jazz bass. It is an original 1972, as I said, jazz bass. I've been overseas with it, so I've had it valued. It's because it's a vintage guitar. It is quite valuable. 1972 Fenders, pretty valuable instruments. I have had it changed a few things on it, as most people do with these instruments. So the bridges are not very good on the Fenders normally, so all these ones anyway. So I've changed the bridge on it. I've also got active pickups in it. I have all the original fixtures, so if it does come to the time when I want to sell it, which will be my relatives selling it actually, because I'm going to die with this. So it'll be bequeathed to somebody. So when they get to sell it, all the original pieces are with it, but yeah, I've made a few modifications to it just for how it sounds and the playability of it. But it's a beautiful instrument, and I've had a few other jazz basses and a few other basses, Washburn 5-string all the way, but this is my favourite. This is the one that does it for me.
So how long did you say you've had it?
Since the late 80s, so I can't be exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure I paid about $800 for it then.
And how old is it?
It's 1972 is the model. Yeah.
Was that a good time? A good time to buy? Good age for that instrument?
Yeah. It's before they sold the company. Fender sold the company. So these are the pre-CBS, I think they call them ones.
Yeah.
So that's why it has a good value attached to it, because it's at that era when Fender originally were making them in the USA. So it does have a bit of a premium on it.
So how long have you been a musician, Mark?
I've been a musician since I left school, which is a long time ago now, I have to say. But yeah, I started playing. My brothers were in bands. I'm the youngest of two. I've got two older brothers. They both played in bands, so they were performing at local hotels. Actually, the Kiri Hotel, I saw my brother perform there when I was probably 14 years old, and I saw him perform, and that's when I decided that that's what I wanted to do. So they had a band going. They used to practice in our garage out the back. My eldest brother decided at some point he didn't want to play anymore. He was playing bass with them. I was learning guitar. My brothers were teaching me guitar, and I went to a teacher and had some group lessons to learn method book guitar stuff. And when my brother stopped playing bass, there was a bass sitting around. They needed a bass player, so I put my hand up to play bass with them. Didn't last very long with them, but that was my first experience of being in a band, and it was really good. I was with my brother and all of that, but yeah, moved on pretty quickly from there.
Right. And what are your main influences?
My main influences, well, really it's just kind of pop music. I mean, I really grew up playing Beatles songs and that type of material. I wasn't, like when I played with the Bellhops and bands like this, blues, but I've never really got into blues. I only got into blues in the late 80s when Stevie Ray Vaughan came along, and particularly Robert Cray. I quite like those. And a big influence on that was listening to Stormy Monday on 2MBS FM. And we did some live tours with the Bellhops, and that was really cool listening to them. And at that time blues was cool, but that's the first time I experienced it. Like, I grew up learning Beatles songs basically, and also heavy stuff like Deep Purple and all that kind of thing through that era. Was never into the disco stuff, hated all of that, which is really funny because now I've been asked to join a Bee Gees cover band, so I'm going to be playing some disco songs in that. So, but you know.
Oh, then you've covered all bases, so to speak.
That's right, yeah. So the thing is with a bass player, we're not particularly stylists. Guitar players tend to be stylists. They tend to have a style, like, you know, I'm a blues player, or I'm a jazz player, or I'm a rock player. But I find with a lot of bass players like myself, we're not a particular type of player. We're a bass player, and we'll kind of play anything almost. You know, as long as we're playing and we're playing our instrument, we're playing bass. I don't think bass players particularly mind what they're playing, really. We all love to slap and pop. That's one thing we do love to do as bass players. We all love slapping and popping, and just, you know, moving around the fretboard's really nice too, rather than something that's really static. But yeah.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Mark.
No problem.